In the news this week, new figures show the extent of LGBT overrepresentation at the BBC, opt-out organ donation is tabled in Scotland, and Spider-Man actor Andrew Garfield attacks people who believe in traditional marriage. Hello. New figures have revealed that more than 8% of employees at the BBC identify as lesbian, gay, bisexual or transgender, compared to just 2% in the general population. Of the BBC's 21,000-strong workforce, almost 1,000 are gay men and women. A further 365 are bisexual. The disparity for transgender employees is even more marked. Almost 1 in 50 of the corporation's staff identifies as transgender, but in the general population, only 1 in every 13,000 has legally changed sex. The Christian Institute's Kieran Kelly questioned the corporation's recruitment policy.
The BBC seems to be falling over itself to demonstrate its PC credentials, and if it wants to better reflect the population of the country, as it says it does, it might want to think about employing a few more Christians. They have a very limited voice within the BBC, and yet we can see from these figures that LGBT people are massively overrepresented.
Families may be unable to stop the donation of their loved one's organs if a presumed consent system is introduced in Scotland. Legislation to bring in the change has been tabled by the Cabinet Secretary for Health and Sport, Shona Robertson MSP, despite evidence that it is unlikely to yield much success. Currently, people must give their consent before their organs can be taken. Under the planned legislation, backed by a £3 million publicity campaign, organs would be removed unless the individual had registered an objection. Dr Gordon MacDonald of Care for Scotland is warning against the change. Whilst much needed resources for specialist organ donation nurses are being diverted into publicity campaigns to try to raise public awareness about the new system, organ donation rates are likely to remain stubbornly low. Similar legislation was passed in Wales in 2015, and there has been no evidence that it has had a positive effect on donation rates. Spider-Man actor Andrew Garfield says people who value traditional marriage should vanish into the night. Garfield, who has twice played the comic book hero, was speaking on the red carpet before winning an award for a play about HIV. In response to a question about the US Supreme Court's recent decision on religious liberty, Garfield claimed it will only embolden other human beings to think it's okay to hold on to their old, bigoted ideas. The old guard needs to quietly vanish into the night and graciously give the world to the new generation. The ruling Garfield criticised saw 7 US Supreme Court judges back Christian baker Jack Phillips. Phillips was sued after he had declined to create a custom wedding cake for a same-sex couple. Judges said he had faced clear and impermissible hostility for his religious beliefs. And finally, musician Professor Green has shared his deep regret about an abortion his former girlfriend had many years ago. He says he still thinks about the decision and urged those in a similar position to think twice. We decided to have an abortion because we didn't want our child to go through the same stresses we went through growing up. Almost as soon as we'd done it, we realised we regretted it. It stuck with me for a long time afterwards, and it still hurts now. I do still think about it. It's so important people talk about stuff, because that was a decision born of us talking to each other, but no one else. Well, that's all for this week. For regular updates and information on all of our stories, plus much more, visit our website at christian.org.uk. Until next time, goodbye.